Could the government take your 401k? The hidden risk no one talks about. Let's give an example of how that would be like. Everything starts with a headline no one thought they'd ever see. Federal Asset Reallocation Act passes in emergency vote. John Miller, a 52-year-old construction manager, had been saving diligently since his 20s. $500,000 in his 401k, a promise of security, gone overnight. In a blink, the government temporarily assumed control of all retirement accounts to stabilize the national economy. The news anchors called it a necessary intervention. But for John, it was theft. He tried calling his plan manager. Disconnected. Logged into his account. Frozen. That night, he realized something chilling. It wasn't just him. His friends, co-workers, even his wife's teacher pension, all absorbed into a new government-guaranteed retirement system. What would you do if one morning the account you've built your life around was no longer yours? It sounds extreme, but the mechanisms to do it already exist. And the conversation has already begun. Now, why would the government want your money? The reason they would want your 401k on paper is retirement accounts represent one thing: control of capital. Americans hold over $8 trillion in 401k assets. That's more than the total GDP of Japan. In times of financial crisis, that pool of money looks like a solution waiting to be tapped. Politicians have floated the idea for years, usually under phrases like retirement security reform or guaranteed income protection. In simple terms, when debt rises and government obligations grow, the easiest source of liquidity isn't new taxes, it's the untapped wealth sitting in private accounts. And the precedent already exists. Argentina did it in 2008. Hungary, Poland, and Ireland followed suit. They nationalized private pensions temporarily to pay debts and fund stimulus. None of those funds were ever returned to private hands. So, would the US ever do the same? Not directly. But in a crisis, when inflation spikes, markets crash, or confidence evaporates, temporary measures can quickly become permanent. So, what would they use the money for? If the government ever took over retirement funds, the official reason would sound noble. Stabilizing pensions, ensuring equality, protecting citizens from market volatility. In reality, that money would likely flow into the same channels that already absorb federal spending: debt repayment, welfare expansions, and large-scale economic programs designed to patch short-term crises. Imagine a trillion-dollar infrastructure or stimulus plan backed by the American people's own retirement accounts. No new taxes, no new borrowing, just reallocated assets for national stability. From a fiscal perspective, it's genius. From a citizen's perspective, it's terrifying. Because when you surrender private capital to government control, you surrender the choice of how and where your future wealth is used. Now, how would they take assets? The real danger isn't a headline reading "Government seizes 401ks." It's slow policy change disguised as protection. It could start as a new national retirement fund designed to guarantee minimum returns for everyone. Employers might be encouraged, or later required, to transition private plans into government-managed accounts. Funds could be secured in government bonds, the same ones that finance public debt. Bit by bit, the autonomy of private savings could erode under layers of safety, oversight, and equity. Most people wouldn't even notice until it was done. It wouldn't be called a seizure. It would be called modernization, and those who question it would be told they're overreacting until their balance reads 0. In this situation, how would you protect yourself? So what can be done? No one can completely shield their savings from systemic risk. But awareness is power. First, diversify. Real assets, land, metals, alternative income streams carry risk, but they're harder to nationalize. Second, stay informed. Policy changes don't happen overnight. They unfold through hearings, proposals, and legislation that few people ever read. Third, don't assume that protected by law means safe forever. Laws change when governments need survival more than votes. And finally, build personal liquidity. In crises, cash flow and flexibility beat promises and paper. The goal isn't paranoia, it's preparation. The idea of the government taking 401ks sounds unthinkable right until the day it's not. History shows that when nations face financial collapse, they don't ask permission before rewriting the rules. In a world of digital banking, programmable currency, and expanding federal power, your retirement isn't just money. It's leverage. And if the system ever falters, that leverage becomes too tempting to ignore. So ask yourself, if you woke up tomorrow and your 401k was temporarily managed by the state, what would you do? Because by the time it happens, the answer might already be too late.